So obviously, this is a film that has been in gestation for 15 years. This sequel's quadruple line. It's the third sequel. So this has been in gestation for 15 years. Massive problems sort of getting it off the ground. There was writers' strike, and there's just the fact that I couldn't really get it going. The problems with Mel Gibson. Obviously, it's all been well documented.
What problems with Mel Gibson?
He said with the oh my god, what not problems really with him, man. But really the thing is that if he couldn't get it off the ground for that long and he had to make Happy Feet during the time, really you can't really blame him, because like I mean, Happy Feet was decent. I mean, it was an okay film, you know.
I liked Happy Feet a lot, yeah.
And obviously now he's going back to a film that's just a little bit different,
quite.
You know, just a little bit, you know, in terms of tone and style and this, the whole
everything,
emphasis of it and everything about it.
Tom Hardy as a penguin. I can see that.
Yeah.
Oh, you can do anything really, can't he?
Yep. My name is Penguin. I don't know a penguin name, so
yeah, I forgot what it is now.
Happy or something. Feet.
One more combo. Yeah, I liked Happy Feet a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. 15 years on, he's finally made it, and happily, it is the best. Yes, the best action film of the summer, and that is in a summer which had a lot, and I mean a lot of mega hits. I mean, this was obviously, it still is. It's got months to go yet. The biggest year box office wise for films ever. So obviously, this is, to be the best, it's got to be pretty special, and it is. It is exhilarating. It is absolutely incredible, some of the stuff it does, and it's just it's a wonderful thing to see. Obviously, we have got a proper review of this on our podcast if you want to look on that. Shameless plug, but basically, it's probably it's a desolate wasteland, desolate future wasteland where gasoline, water are scarce commodities. Obviously, the world's ended, everything's gone to pot. Following Max Rokitansky, Tom Hardy now instead of Mel Gibson, who has joined forces with Imperator Furiosa, played by Charlize Theron.
Again, it's just Charlize
Theron. I know that one as well. That's irritating.
I've just watched Arrested Development again, watching the whole Rita storyline. It's just hilarious.
And they have to flee from cult leader Immortan Joe, played by Hugh Keys-Byrne, who was in the first one as a different character. The second one, and his army in an armoured tanker truck returns to a lengthy road battle across the desert to save the cargo, I won't spoil it, across the desert and sort of, well, just liberate them, I guess. This film has a really, really good cast. I mean, everybody from Tom Hardy to Theron to Keys-Byrne as the villain, and obviously you've got Nicholas Hoult in there as one of the...
What a lovely day.
What a lovely day. Like, his characters are so off the hook, and he plays one, like, in their culture there was a thing called the War Boys, and basically they are sort of the cattle, basically. Like, they can just send them out. They're expendable. They've got half-lives because they've been sort of affected by the radiation so much, and they just go on and basically he is sort of he's corrupted, basically, and he's sort of been corrupted by the religion. Obviously, Hugh Keys-Byrne's character has sort of a sick, twisted religion, and he is one of the followers, basically. You know, I live, I die, I live again. You know, riding to Valhalla. You know, it's very twisted. The whole cast is just on top form. And the world building in this film is by far the biggest aspect of it, though, because it is just so well realised. Obviously, George Miller is a bit of a genius in terms of his Mad Max films. He knows exactly how to get the sort of reactions that we want and would expect out of it. It's so great to see him sort of at the top of his game still after the two first amazing Mad Max films, and then we don't speak about number 3, but you know.
Well, I haven't seen the third one, so I don't know. Because I was warned not to by all of you.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you didn't watch it because you didn't need to. It's awful. I mean, it's okay, I guess, but it's generally pretty bad. But the whole cast is just on top form, and the whole everything about that. The whole world building thing is just absolutely spectacular. You've got scenes in there that they're not explained much, but they're just left in there. Like there's a scene where they're driving through the desert and you see these people on stilts in sort of a foggy marshland, and they're not explained at all. That's just part of the world, you know. That's accepted. There are going to be weird things in this world, and that's never built on. It's just, it helps with the world building, you know, making a more fully realised world. There are things in there. You are telling this story, so you're not going to have time fully to explain every sort of facet about it. You know, every little sort of idiosyncrasy that is going on. So it's good that it has these moments where it's like, right, this is a full world, and Joe's still asleep, a full world where you can have these characters and locations interacting with each other, and you really believe that, yes, these are apocalyptic survivors in a wasteland that has gone to total hell. This is the darkest days of humanity, you know, it's the end of the world. There's some great prosthetics, great, fantastic set design, fantastic cinematography, brilliant
practical effects.
Yeah, brilliant practical effects, you know, it's a mix of CGI and practical effects.
Did you know
works so well.
That Mad Max had practical effects?
I didn't know that. I thought only Christopher Nolan used practical effects.
Apparently not.
So I've been lied to all my life.
I guess so. It's not that it didn't use any it did obviously use CGI, and that's the sort of amazingness of it as well.
Of course, but that's the mix. It's works so well because of that. The car chases, I mean, obviously it is built on a whole car chase, much like the final 20 minutes of The Road Warrior, the second Mad Max film, and it works so well because it's just breathtaking. Some of the scenes there it takes place, it's just completely, it's heart pumping minutes. You know, you're constantly behind the trials and tribulations of the characters. There's no real heroes. That are sort of people trying to survive. Beings. Yeah, real human beings that is trying to survive. You know, get along in this world. It's so grim and dour at times, but it's still got that optimism of the new world, you know, but it's just so wonderfully mad. That's the best way to put it, you know. It's insanely well made, insanely realised, just an incredible array of characters, situations, and just themes throughout, you know, themes of survival and desolation and rebirth, you know, just like the essence of Mad Max, you know. It's a man in a world gone to hell trying to uphold moral sophistication, I guess that's the way to put it, you know, trying to realise where he stands in this new world. But I think the biggest sort of prompts that we have to give to this film is just how well Charlize Theron basically steals the show from Max. She is a fantastic female character. She's absolutely wonderful, you know. She plays her character is also morally grey, but you know, their characters work together so well because there's a scene in the film where Max can't shoot his sniper rifle very well and he needs support, and then she comes over, takes the rifle. She's a much better shot and Max is lent on by her to take the shot. You know, they work together. They are a very good team. They're relying on each other, you know, to get through, to survive. They're not friends. They're not a love interest together, you know. They are just people trying to survive, and that works fantastically well, you know. There's a great storyline in there involved. I know there's all this sort of hatred towards how it sort of panders to feminists supposedly in the subtext, but it really doesn't, because it's empowering to mankind more than it is to, and it's incredibly empowering for women as well to see someone of this strength, you know, as such a rich character as Charlize Theron in this film, as her character Furiosa is played. It's so wonderfully realised her, and she is much as important, maybe even more important to this particular story than Max himself. You know, there is no romance. There's absolutely none of that. Well, I mean, there is, but with other characters, but not with the main two. Yeah. And they are just two people trying to survive, trying to get along, and sometimes they have to work together. They have fights, they have disagreements, but there's a mutual respect, and that's fantastic to see. And I think that's why people love it so much, because it is just it's empowering, not just to have great female characters like that, like other characters like Rosa Huntley-Whiteley, who I won't spoil her role in the film because she's part of the you'll see,
and but, surprisingly good as well.
Yeah, she's surprisingly good, but you really do get the sense of the fact that, right, this is sort of the last throes of mankind, you know. You really do get the fact that these are people who are fighting for survival in sort of the world, and it's empowering to see such a great action film so well made, you know, that isn't just schlock or cutting away from cameras or trying to be fast paced with the editing or trying to constantly sort of get away from the story to get back to the action. There's plenty of pauses in this film to sort of enjoy, and you really do get the sense of, yes, this is the world we live in now, and it's just time to pause and sort of reflect alongside the absolute madness that goes on pretty much. And I think it's an achievement, not just technically but also story-wise, and to have something like this in 2015, it shows that true ambition and true visual fare like this still very much exists in Hollywood, and that man George Miller is still very much a visionary.
He gets it.
He gets it. Hey Joe,
leave him.
Nice.
Leave him.
I was going to say if you leave it.
Joe liked it as well.
Yeah, Joe agrees.
Yeah.
Joe, wake up if you didn't like it. Yeah, you liked it.
1 out of 5.
1 out of 5.
No, I'll for all the things you've said, it doesn't need to be said again. It's just amazing, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's pretty much. He just gets it.
I've rambled on there.